So good morning, this is Teemu Surakka from Aalto University.
And good morning, here's Heike Bunte from the city of Hamburg.
And within the theme of multimodality, one of our main results will be a simplified way of assessing the impact of sustainable mobility solutions, and this way support the transferability of experiences and best practices. And within this theme, and with sustainable mobility solutions, we mainly mean different policies that potentially affect mobility, different service concepts, technological solutions, solutions that are adapted to local conditions, or maybe solutions that are developed locally and perhaps not giving full credit. And of course, some of these solutions may be too local to be transferred to different contexts as they are, but there are always some aspects of the solutions that we can learn from. And to improve the transferability of these experiences and the match with different local developed solutions, we have developed this sustainable mobility index with our participating cities. And while this tool is not made for comparing cities, it's a starting point for a thought process of whether, for example, city authority wants to focus their improvement efforts and look for different solutions. But in the end, our final output will be an online tool and a database of possible solutions that can be then searched and filtered based on the interest of different users. In this database, the impact will be presented in pretty much simplified way, but this is to ease the comparison of different solutions and also to narrow the set of desirable solutions. So we are not planning to replace existing tools for impact assessment. Some of these experiences will come from HUPMOBILE cities.
Yes, thank you, Teemu. Actually, now we are coming from the theory to activities in Hamburg-Altona. As you probably might know, Hamburg-Altona is a really dense, high-density area with a lot of inhabitants. And so we suffer also from a lot of traffic congestions. And we really need to work on several solutions and find other options to develop sustainable mobility. In fact, as you know, we will face an increase in the deliveries of small and medium parcels, and also with that coming vans parking in the second and third row, so to say. So in order to solve this, our pilot will be to develop a micro hub in the center of Altona. Before we do this, it is absolutely necessary as a city as a whole to develop a master plan on micro and nano hubs, because cargo bikes really rely on such a density network on micro hubs. So before we started to point out certain places in Altona, we developed a plan as a whole for future upcoming additional micro hubs. Another important point in terms of the development is to work with different stakeholders very closely together, because it takes a huge effort as a municipality to raise awareness for that problem. It is a bit a vicious circle because on one hand, we all want to receive our parcels in time, but on the other hand, we do not want to see 50-inch box or containers in front of our houses. So the identification of public spaces to provide micro-hubs is huge, and it takes longer than you probably might think. So this is one action, and we just started it. So an important aspect on this is also that we really integrated startups or small and medium enterprises in order to have a lot of flexibility. We do not only want to provide the huge big players with that business area, but also startups. So this is one aspect. And the other one is that we would like to identify service points where we can live and actually create mobility as a service in order to manage more users to use several modes of transport like bike and car sharing. There is from our side of or from the city side need really to integrate different modes of transport into this planning. Again, here you also need a kind of master plan to develop this kind of mobility. Because it means if we think about car and bike sharing, that you have to take away from the private car parking the space. Another important aspect is here, of course, you need to work with ITS and data collection. And in that case, it is important that you as a municipality really are owners of this data, because you need to develop in future times these mobility as a service points. And without knowing and belonging to the data, there is a lack of possibilities to do this. So the advice is, on one hand, what do you want from these service points and who you have to integrate into this, because again, it's also not only an issue of putting the modes of transport there, but also it is about spatial planning.
So one way of concretely contributing as a follower cities, we will be publishing a standalone methodology for you to send us suggestions for different sustainable mobility solutions, but also we will organize a series of facilitated workshops to collect these information and best practices. And after collecting these solutions for the database, we aim to be online by the end of next year. So with the ideas of workshops, you can contact Teemu Surakka
and Heike Bunte.
Okay, thank you very much, Teemu and Heike.